Welcome to another episode of Fraser Valley's Real Estate News. This is Maria.
And Morgan.
And today we're going to go over a few stories that are interesting to us. Okay, so the first story that I wanted to tell you about, it's about a man who's earning $40,000 per year, but he bought a $32 million worth of real estate in Vancouver, and now he's being investigated.
Obviously doing something illegal.
Shady, yeah. So the funny thing about the story is that, first of all, if you make $40,000 a year, what in your right mind would allow you, what in the right mind would make you think it's okay to go and buy a property that's not, maybe $2 million, $3 million, no, $32 million worth property? Like, why would you do that?
Can't even get approved for a basic property, never mind.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So he bought 9 properties actually.
Oh.
So in total, 114 million was transferred from offshore accounts, obviously. And they were saying that this came all from China.
Yeah. I wonder what he's
doing in China. Yeah. Well, I think this is also something a lot of people that live in Vancouver are also struggling with, right? Like a lot of people, they're working hard, they're working 2 jobs, and for somebody to, also be making $40,000 a year to just get money transferred from China, and then he buys all these properties, right? It makes it, I don't know, seem very unfair.
100%. Something illegal is definitely happening in China.
Yeah. Well, I don't know illegal, maybe he has a business there or something, right? But for him to be on record making $40,000 and then buying properties that are expensive. Oh yeah, the other thing was that his family, it wasn't just his account, his relatives and his kids
They're
and
all
wife too.
contributing.
No, they had random transfers into their account.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's trying to launder money. Yikes.
Oh, what the hell? I forgot about this, but it shows that the home was priced in millions and refers to the child as buying the $14 million home.
Oh, good. It's one rich.
Yeah.
Little
You know what, this
baby.
actually reminds me of there's a guy who went to a casino, right? So he had $100,000 cash, and I think he was trying to clean the money. So he goes to the casino and he takes the money and he gives it, when you go and you give the money to, what are those people called? When you get the chips and stuff from? Yeah, the casino people.
Yeah.
Neither am I, but okay. So basically he gave it to them, took the chips, and I think maybe a few minutes later he goes back to give it so he can get more his money back, and that way it would be clean money.
Wow.
And of course the people at the casino, they flagged him and then they called the cops right away. It just makes me think why would you do that?
Stupid.
You give $100K, you take the chips, and then you go back and you take your $100K thinking it's gonna be clean. If it was that easy, I think everybody would be doing it.
100%. Same with this guy.
Yeah. Okay, so any more comments about this news
No.
story?
Our next story is about millennials and Gen Zers will sell the most luxury homes in 2022. Woo! Me and you, girl. What does it say here? Millennials and Gen Zers are making up a whooping 80% of all luxury home sales. Nearly 50% of the sales are set to be millennials alone, and for many of them, it will be their first time selling a home.
Oh, so these are millennials who are the homeowners. So the funny thing is about this article, where are they getting their money from? These millennials that already own
Drug
luxury
dealers.
homes. Of course.
Maybe the parents?
Jas and I were talking about it yesterday. And we were with a client who was talking about his client who's worth $90 million. And he's young. He's, I think, 21 years old. And all this money came from crypto. So he invested in crypto, right?
Wow.
And this money literally just came from crypto. And now he's worth $90 million at 21.
Well, all these guys going into stocks and stuff with the littlest amount. And then overnight, they're
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, my Cairo was telling me that his son tried to buy Bitcoin back when he was 14 years old.
Oh yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, so back when he was 14 years old, he tried to buy Bitcoin with his credit card, right? And the funny thing was that the dad was like, no, like don't buy it, right? And he was like, just $100, please, dad, like $100, that's it, right? And then my car was like, I was like hell no, you're probably buying your Club Penguin type of like, you know, games or something. So he didn't let him. And now he's like, his son was telling him if he had bought Bitcoin at that time, right now they would have been worth $30 million. $100.
That poor
$30
dad.
million.
That poor dad.
Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, how do you feel? He's like, how do you think I feel? Yeah. I know.
That's so sad.
Yeah, but it makes you think, like, you know, how many of the millennials or even Gen Zs or the other generations too, like how many of them were, you know, they started out like at a young age doing crypto, doing some type of stocks, and now like that's paying off at this time, right? So like it could be one of those, and maybe that's the reason why.
Well, that's insane.
Yeah, the other reason why also it could be that this is for North America, right? Yeah, North America. So the other thing could also be like in America, a lot of people are doing like YouTube.
Oh,
right?
it's like
and they're blowing up like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram,
all those things.
right?
Social media is the
Yeah, and like, you know, people are no longer thinking of it as like a, like, you know, they have to work a 9-to-5 job anymore, right? They're able to like do things that are more creative, or not necessarily more creative. People who do 9-to-5, they're creative too. But what I'm saying is like something that's not the norm, right? Like they're not doing the usual business that maybe our parents did or that we do, right? They're doing things that are like a little different. Like our parents would never do like crypto.
like flashier lifestyle ways, I feel.
Yeah, but I mean, good for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to live in that house.
But that makes me think maybe we should target these people as our like our
100%.
clients, right? Like if 80% of all luxury home sales are going to be from them.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I read that so wrong.
It's okay. I'm here for you.
Naturally blonde.
All right. So this one, this news story is UBC. It's been all over everywhere, like all over social media. I went to an event earlier last week, I think, and in that event too, they were talking about UBC making a presence here in Surrey. Do you know much about?
No.
Okay,
nothing.
so I'll explain.
Kind of all you.
Okay, so UBC. Do you know like a little bit about UBC?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So UBC, a lot of students that go to UBC, being one of the biggest universities here in BC, they don't really have a office or like a school here in Surrey, okay? So a lot of students, like in thousands, they actually travel all the way to UBC, or they live there so they can attend the school, okay? Here, I think they're only doctors. They have like a doctor's type of like training lab sort of thing in Surrey Memorial Hospital, but that's about it, right? So what they're now doing is they've made a plan to actually make a presence here in Surrey, which is a big thing, which means more jobs, more students can stay here in Surrey and do the same courses. And overall, like it just shows that how much Surrey is growing as a city. Right, so this is they're going to be developing a nearly 3-acre property or land, and the building's going to be $70 million project. So it's huge for the city, it's huge for the residents of Surrey, and this will potentially bring in more people to Surrey. It's going to be, I mean, we already know it's the fastest growing city in BC.
And all those people are gonna need homes.
Yeah, and we're gonna be like, hey. Yeah, but this also means that people who live in Wally or in that region, their properties now, the prices are just gone up, right? When I was at this event, all the developers in Surrey were attending this event, and they were showing pictures of what Surrey is going to look like in the future. And it literally looked like downtown Vancouver. Like it looked like all these high-rise buildings and like the cool concepts they're doing with the mall, with everything, right? Like Surrey is the place to be. Like,
I'm not sure if I love that or hate that, but
for everybody to move to Surrey?
No, the downtown Vancouver, like, it just sounds like it's gonna get busier and more hectic, and I like Surrey because it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But you also have to think, right? Like Surrey is really big, right? So like we have like the Wally region is probably going to be where it's going to be the busiest, and it's going to be the hub because the city hall's there, right?
Yeah.
But places like towards South Surrey, White Rock, even like Newton, that area probably won't be as busy as that area. So I guess you get like best of both worlds. Like if you don't want to be, like if you don't want to be in like the downtown type of lifestyle, you just move down further, down south, right? And if you want to be part of that, then you just stay up there.
There you go.
Yeah, but I know that a lot of investors are now, like we've had so many calls, people are now trying to buy either land, condos, anything in that region because they know that the value of the properties are going to go up.
For sure.
Yeah, like for example, I remember like I was in high school and in Surrey Central, you know those like high rises that first went up by the mall, by Surrey Central Mall. I begged my parents. I was like, let's buy one unit here. Like, let's buy one, right? And my parents were like, no, it's a big risk, blah, blah, blah. They didn't listen to me, right? One of my friend's friend, at that time, he bought 2 condos there. Guess for how much?
200?
No, they bought it for $90,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, $90,000. And now they're worth at least $600K. Yeah, like this guy, he just bought 2 and kind of like forgot about it, rented it out. And now look at this. Like just.
And how do your parents feel?
How do you think they feel? The same way the Cairo feels, yeah. So like things like that, right? Like you need to jump in on these opportunities. And I was talking to Jas and Maddie yesterday, and we were talking about like if you don't take risks in real estate, you're not going to be successful. Like you can't just always like, you know, grow in real estate or just make money. Sometimes you might not make as much money.
You need to scare yourself a little bit.
Yeah, but in the long run though, real estate is always the safe bet, right?
Yep.
But we were talking about that. Even right now, like people, right? You don't know what the future is going to be like, but a lot of these people are taking risks by buying properties in Wally and making sure that, you know, in the next 5-10 years, these properties are going to be worth much more, right? So yeah, so that's the
AKA
news.
buy in Surrey.
Yeah.
And call your girls.
And yeah, honestly, and I'm very happy about this UBC thing. I remember when I graduated from high school, one of the reasons that I didn't go to UBC was because of the commute. I think it would have taken me like 2 to 3 hours to get there.
And that sounds terrible.
Yeah, so I went to BCIT instead. I mean, it still took me like an hour to get there, but better than 2-3 hours. But this will be really neat for the future generations when UBC does move in, and they'll have a bigger presence here.
All right, our last story. Why winter home buying can be a great strategy. Basically, it's saying winter in general can be a great time for home shoppers looking for a deal, which we could all use in this market. Sellers who list their property during the colder months are often more motivated to sell. Some of these houses are starting to sit a little bit, so sellers might be more reasonable when negotiating, which I definitely believe. Again, I wouldn't love trying to sell my house in the winter / moving in the winter, but
because you know it's Christmas time, you want to just
take time off, relax,
and not like, you know, worry about like the whole real estate. But you know, like for me, it also, I don't know if I agree with it because right now the market is so hot, right?
Yeah, so I don't think it's changing. We're technically winter already,
I know,
aren't we?
and they're saying you're getting better deals, but right now the inventory is low it's been low, and we have more buyers, right?
It's
so
constant.
for them to think like, I mean, it would have to be a big shift. I think it's maybe all of North America.
I don't know. Either way, I don't think that this is.
Oh, Connecticut. But maybe they're just commenting on it. Well, I think they're just talking generally. Like, you know, it's better time to buy in winter. But I don't know if that would be like...
Our market is too hot right now.
Yeah, I don't think in Vancouver that's probably a good idea.
No, and it also doesn't... The weather doesn't change that drastically in Vancouver either.
Yeah,
Alberta.
I know. Oh my God, I can't imagine like snow being up to like... We're here?
Like -40. Well, it depends, but yeah, I've seen it like up to my shoulders.
Oh my God. Here, when it snows a little bit, we don't know how to drive. We don't know how to do anything.
I know, there's girls like, you need to get winter tires. I'm like, for what? She's like, because it snows here. I'm like, I'm from Alberta and I've never had winter tires, so I think I'm going to be okay.
Last time I was coming home from downtown, and it took me, I think, 4 or 5 hours to get home.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it wasn't because of me. People had just left their cars like on like Portman. They left it and they just like went home. Yeah, they just like left it.
How, like, yeah, I'm gonna call an Uber and just leave my car here. Like, that's...
No, but this winter you're gonna see how we British Columbians do it here.
I'll be the one going to rescue everyone.
Yeah. Hey Morgan, come. My car's stuck. And Morgan, her all-season tires. Hey.
Here to save the day. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. If you have any questions, we would love to hear what you think about these news articles. Let us know in the comments below. And this is Maria.
And Morgan.
And we will see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.